dead. But before that, what did you say about hands on your knees?
I've been lied to in my entire life by my dad, including all coaches. And they did a poll of 1,000 scientists. That's not true. But anyways, this is what.
Give us the facts.
Hey, I know you.
Give us the facts, man.
Just give me a second, okay? It says, a study found that the hand-on-knees posture resulted in superior heart rate recovery and greater tidal volume, the amount of air inhaled into the lungs with each breath compared to the hands on the head posture.
So you mean to tell me every time during conditioning, everybody out there who has ever played anything knows what we're saying. You remember on the sideline, we're running gassers or maybe running suicides. What does the coach say? No hands on your knees, Cone.
Stand up.
It shows weakness.
Stand up.
It shows weakness.
And you're
Stand
saying
up.
that a study found that not to be the case.
Yes. Not to be the opposite.
Okay, hold on. I have calls to make.
Look. I've already sent out a group text message to all my coaches demanding a written apology.
If I was a player nowadays, I would print out a copy of the study, and every time I'm on the sidelines and I put my hands on my knees and the coach is like, stand up, all the air's up there. I'm like, actually, no, it's not, Bill Nye. Check this out.
What if it comes to find out the study is really just like a group of 14, 15-year-old high school kids? It's like a heavyweight situation.
Well,
it's a heavyweight.
I'll tell you, when I was playing middle school basketball, some of the older guys, right before you go to the high school, I was on the younger side. But we had run suicides. And one day in the locker room, they're like, I tell you what, if coach makes us run any suicides today, we're telling him he can go find another team. And all the old guys was like, yeah. And the younger guys like, yeah. Like the older guys like, yeah, we're going to show him. The minute practice ended, he blew the whistle. It was like everybody on the line, nobody said a word.
Yeah.
Everybody just went straight to it.
Well, I would go through the whole practice like you do everything, but the entire time in your head at the end of it, are we conditioning? Like, are we conditioning? Or maybe just maybe
know from the
one time we don't have to.
That's
if we have a good enough practice.
That's
if we have a good enough practice, we won't have to condition. It would never matter how good we practice. It wasn't good enough, we're conditioning.
You're selling false hope, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Conference realignment continues to disrupt college football. Zion Williamson signs a max mega deal down in NOLA, and Joey Chestnut is the greatest champion in American history. That's right, George Washington. I'm Jake Crane, and it's Crane & Company. We're turning up on a Tuesday. Said on this show that one of the driving factors in people loving college football and college athletics in general is because the sports overall have a more local and pure feel than the professional leagues do. The home bases for teams in college are places like Auburn, Eugene, Oxford, and Tuscaloosa, as opposed to the pro cities of, Atlanta, Boston, New York, or Philly, all the major metropolitan areas. And people can connect more with players and coaches in those small towns. Now, the unprecedented changes that we've seen with NIL, the transfer portal, conference realignment, and really the death of amateurism, is progress in the eyes of some. But there's a huge segment of the college sports fan base that is waking up and they don't recognize what they are seeing in the landscape. That warm, fuzzy feeling of college athletics that you grew up with has turned into an ATM for big business, TV conglomerates, and more. College football went from a wildly successful mom and pop to a Walmart right before our eyes. The changes are only beginning as well. A great comparison is if you grew up loving the way your mom made lasagna. Then all of a sudden, one day in your 20s, you come back home from college and she totally changed the recipe. While the lasagna may be more healthy for you now or healthier for you, it just isn't that same lasagna that you grew up loving and you could always count on to be fantastic. With all these changes, some people aren't going to like the new lasagna, and that scares me. I believe the expanded playoffs going to help bring back a portion of that audience by default. But I do believe we may have started down the other side of the peak of college athletics popularity. It may not get back to where it was until a new generation has grown up eating the new lasagna. And that takes a ton of time. And I still love college football as much as I ever have. And I agree with some of the changes. But I feel like I may be in the minority when it comes to that way of thinking. I hope I'm completely wrong, but I don't think I am. So for all those out there that have given up on college athletics because of these recent changes, I feel you. I understand. But maybe you should try a bite of that new lasagna, and you may come around a little bit, and it'll do the college athletics world some good. Guys, You look at some of the reports out there today that have been disputed. Now, supposedly, the Big 12 is going to add Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah. We are waking up and not recognizing, as I said, what we grew up loving. And that is scary. I've talked about changes on this show, and sometimes change is good. But the way they have rolled this stuff out, it's just in your face, and it never stops. So I'm starting to really wonder if the Pac-12 is going to even make it to the season. And if I'm somebody like Oregon State or Washington State, I'm worried as hell. I mean, I'm already guessing I'm going to the Mountain West. But do you think, Cone, and you brought this up, I got to give you credit for this. Do you think that we are seeing a slide in college football popularity?
That's a great question. I've been thinking about this all weekend, and I love your lasagna analogy. So here's the way I think I want to put this is because college football means so much to us. I spent the better part of my life dedicating my existence to college football, you know, and so I want what's best for it. I think the best days of college football are in the past for us. Mm-hmm. Because the traditions have changed so dramatically. The more important question I ask, will college football still be special for our kids? Yep. And I think that the answer to that is possibly yes. And we can talk about all the reasons that the traditions in college football have changed so dramatically, in large part to the playoff system, which really, they tried their best to keep the bowl games. Mm-hmm. But once the bowl games kind of went away, college football changed, right? And that's why we're talking about college football so much and not other sports. College basketball is not going to change so much for this. USC and UCLA now have to play a Big Ten schedule. Doesn't really matter. All the teams are going to conglomerate at the end to play in the NCAA tournament. It's going to be March Madness as usual. It's college football that changes the most for this. So can college football still be special for our kids who know nothing about the BCS system? Mm. They only know of a playoff system at the end. They only know that, of course, USC and Michigan play in the same conference, right? That's a no-brainer to them. I still think there is a way forward if there's just a modicum of leadership from the top down. I don't know if the NCAA will continue to exist in the future. This just shows, to your point, this shows what happens when there's a power vacuum at the top that's not filled for a couple years. We see that exponential, compounding effect when there's no leadership. There's a way to keep kids from feeling exploited with name, image, and likeness, but at the same time not be pay for play. There's a way to have kids who want to transfer because they feel like that's not the best school for them without it being a free-for-all. There are answers to these problems, but we haven't come up with them yet in college.
That's exactly right. Well, the NCAA is the parent that never disciplines their child and then gets upset when they don't turn out the way they wanted to. And that's exactly what the NCAA is, and that child's getting older and definitely not listening to you anymore if you look at it like that. Blaine, I'm not so much worried about the on-the-field product. The atmospheres at these games are going to be as crazy as ever. But it's that local, it's that purity feeling, because the lower you go down in the totem pole from the NFL to college to high school, the purer the game gets. The purer it gets. It's not as exploited at the lower levels than it is at the higher. But college football is racing toward the NFL in this. And Blaine, my question to you is, with our kids that are watching college football and come up with it, they won't know any better. I almost kind of parlay it a little bit with, having 9 different newspapers crown somebody a national champion, back in the day. I don't really remember that. That's not something that's forefront in my mind. And I'm sure, remember how big of a change the BCS was? And change is good.
Scary, it's scary, but it can be good.
It can be good.
It can be good. The thing with me is I'm okay with this. I think college football now, there will be more eyes on college football now than there's might have been ever been. Okay. Because it's so new, it's so drastic. No one really knows what's going on. But you think about it, right? Hell, USC might be back, right? Texas might be back. The transfer portal, NIL, is making it to where, it might just not be Alabama kicking everybody's ass this year. It might not be. You'll see more teams in parity.
This year it's going to be.
Yeah, this year, but you always talk about parity, right? Mm-hmm. You love parity. And with this NIL stuff, you're seeing teams that were gone in the past, that we haven't seen, that are starting to rise again. And that will only bring more eyes to college football. These next couple years will be insane. There will probably be more eyes now than there has ever been.
Let me ask you this. I want both of you, and I want the Booster Club's opinion on this. Mm-hmm. Do you think Nick Saban forced these changes? Do you think some of these changes were the guys up top looking and saying, all right, we cannot have monopolies in this or it's going to kill the business. Eventually, a monopoly is going to kill the business around that one, again, the mom and pop that's right next to Walmart. Well, they put the Walmart up. You might as well close the door and go home. Nick Saban is so dominant and so good at what he does. Do you think, and I'm not saying he did it on purpose, that Nick Saban may have inadvertently ruined college football?
Was it Nick Saban or the SEC?
Nick Saban, Nick Saban was a George Washington of this now, and he said he didn't want NIL. He thought it was going to ruin the sport. But you're trying to find parity, and I know all the new rules aren't because of parity, but in some way, did Nick Saban, being the greatest ever of all time, kind of start us down this path?
What greater compliment could there be?
I know.
If that's the case.
I wish
if you're an
they'd said that about
Alabama
me.
fan, be like, we changed college football forever.
That's exactly right.
All right, so I'm thinking about this in real time as I heard both of you talking about this, so forgive me if this isn't that well thought out. But there's a reason that most of the professional sports leagues in our country have mostly the same number, in that low 30s, right? Because that's kind of the maximum amount you can have to, like, everyone is competitive, but you can still have enough to cover all the big markets and stuff like that. Why we love university and college football so much is because all of those smaller markets, like I'm from Statesboro, Georgia, Georgia Southern football means everything to them. They're not going to be winning a national championship, but they used to in 1AA. So is the answer to this, as you're talking about, did Alabama's dominance sort of throw all this out, is 132 teams or whatever from every university is just, it's too much to be able to fight at the end, to be able to compete with the likes of a dynasty with Alabama, or even when Clemson's really good, or the Buckeyes, something like that. Do we need to go to a system where maybe we do have sort of 2 mega conferences, or 4 of 16, something like that, where those teams are the ones who actually fight it out for national championships in Division I Power 5 football, and then what we were talking about with the UAB coach the other day, maybe have a group of 5, or maybe something even after that, right, where the other former Power 5 schools can sort of have a championship. Maybe it's tiered like that.
Yeah, I like Power 4 and Group of 5. I think what Coach Vincent said for UAB, keeping the 5 conferences for the Group of 5 and giving them a national championship. Because like you said, Georgia Southern's not beating Alabama in the playoff. It's not going to happen. There's 3-4 teams maybe right now that can win a national championship every year. So being able to separate that, I think, again, you have the Power 4 conferences with 16 teams apiece, which, again, I think that's going to be the bottom, the seller, when you look at the amount of teams in each. And then you have, again, they're going to expand the playoff to either 8 or 12. I would guess probably 12 if you're going to go 4 16-team conferences and then battle it out there. But, Blaine, what's the Booster Club have to say?
All right, Travis Elrod, first of all, Booster Club, hope you had a great 4th of July.
Yes,
great weekend. Hope it was great. Hey, it's still me and you. There'll be no collusion here today. Like there never is. There never is. Travis Elrod, hashtag Ask Crane & Company. The NCAA keeps surviving these changes. What change will be the death nail in the NCAA?
I don't think they're surviving it. I think they're like Voldemort at the end of Harry Potter when his body parts are falling off. They're just trying not to die. They're holding on to that last raft as the Titanic's going down, just hoping they float next to a lifeboat or something. That's what I think the NCAA is, and it couldn't happen to a better group of people. The quicker they're gone, the happier you'll all be, and the better college athletics will be, because they are the mob of college athletics. But again, they got hit with a RICO charge or something, I guess, because they're disappearing quicker than, like I said, Voldemort at the end of the Half-Blood Prince, or whichever one of those was on it.
Whatever conference realignment there is, it's easiest to think about this in terms of Fox versus ESPN.
That's what I'm saying.
And maybe like CBS or whatever can get into the mix, but that's the easiest way to think about it.
Look, I think you're going to have Fox play ESPN for the national championship.
Yeah, and I mean, 15 million people tuned in to see Michigan and Ohio play last year. 10 million people tuned in to see the Iron Bowl when Auburn really wasn't that competitive. So you're talking about how can this be sustained, or how can college football survive? Those are big numbers. If people keep watching the games, then you're still going to be able to have college football at the highest level.
No, I agree, Blaine. What else we got?
All right, Brendan Moore says the Big 12 needs Oregon. The new Big 12 lacks recruiting power. Oregon could be that.
You were talking about Oregon to maybe the Big Ten.
Go to the Big Ten. I mean,
what fit do you like better? What fit do you like better for Oregon, the Big Ten or the Big 12?
That's interesting when you see what the Big Ten has done strategically, not just this past week here, but remember getting Maryland for that D.C. market,
yes,
getting Rutgers for that New Jersey, New York market. Now you go and get L.A., both with USC and UCLA. Makes sense to sort of have the 4 corners, to complete that corner in the West there. I think at the end of the day, maybe Oregon will say, we could go be a huge fish, the biggest fish now in the new Big 12. What I find most interesting is a year ago when we were at SEC Media Days and we heard the news that Texas and Oklahoma were going to leave for the SEC, and this was after Texas A&M and Nebraska had already left, 10 years ago, and we were thinking, man, the Big 12 is going to collapse. If you had told us that it was the Pac-12 who might collapse first. Like, I'm shocked.
No, I am too. It's been a total reversal. And again, I mean, who knows where this pinball is going to go? Who knows what's going to happen next? I do got to give a shout out to River in the chat. Now that it's kind of blown up, I can see it. He has Vandy beating Bama this year.
Love it.
Good luck.
Oh.
Expectations, River.
In what? Chess?
Expectations.
Sprinkle a little on that one.
What? What are you beating them?
What are the odds on that one?
Class attendance?
Look, you put $1, you probably win $1 million.
Yeah, you probably win more than that.
All right, Trev says the only parity in college football is whose ass is Bama going to kick this year?
Well, what happened last year? This year, you're right, though. They may not lose a game or win a game by less than 10 points. But I did see the Heisman odds. I think it was on Barstool Sportsbook. C.J. Stroud, plus 175. Bryce Young, plus 350.
No, I like that.
Remember who? That's my pick.
I like that just because it's so hard to win 2 years in a row. And I mean, look, Bryce is great, but he throws off his back foot a little bit. I expect Bryce to even have a better year, but still maybe not win the Heisman.
Look, CJ, to me, with Ohio State, with what happened to Ohio State last year, I've got Bama and Ohio State in the Natty. I got Bama winning and CJ winning the Heisman. Playing one more, and then I'm going to call out the punt team because it's going to be time for punt or go. Punt alert!
Bryce Young.
Punt alert!
Bryce Young's up.
Where's this long snapper?
But you have Bryce Young
goofing around over there.
On Heisman's?
Yeah, definitely. All right, Brian Bailey says Texas ruined college football conference realignment. All started with Nebraska and Colorado and they bailed because of Texas.
Well, Colorado went from the Big 12 to the Pac-12. Now it looks like they may be going back from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. So, Colorado's kind of like that, person that they're a little bit of a gold digger. I'm not going to lie. Colorado's got some gold digger.
The Buffs?
Wow.
I'm just going to say it's the truth.
The Buffs?
It's a Kanye
West right now?
Yes, it's a Kanye West situation.
Wow. Going punt and go?
Yeah, let's go punt or go.
All right, punt or go. First one. Joey Chestnut is the greatest champion in American history.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Number one, we're going on that. I got a few things I want to say about this Joey Chestnut situation. Number one, any man that can down 63 hot dogs and beat up a protester in the same event should be on the ballot in 2024. Joey Chestnut, I will be your running mate. Do we have the clip or do we want to run the clip?
We have the clip.
Let's run the clip.
This is the clip of him winning.
Let's run the clip of him winning.
63.
Athleticism in its purest form. Look at this.
15-time champion, Blaine.
You want to see an athlete? It's not the Olympics.
He's 20 ahead. We thought he might retire.
It's not the NFL Combine. These are the best athletes in the world. The one guy chugged a gallon of pink lemonade in 30 seconds. Let's get him and Dave Bakhtiari.
Is this a sport?
Yes, it's a sport. You have to physically eat that hot dog. Joey Chestnut, George Washington, Ben
It's a
Franklin.
competition.
David, is it a sport?
It is a sport.
Yeah,
It is a sport. They're
Thank you.
sweating.
Yeah, look out there in the heat, Blaine.
Look,
we have this clip
Yes,
as well. Watch
please.
this.
I want to know if this protester is actually okay.
As if he wasn't doing enough.
He got John Wick. Look at Joey Chestnut. Right there.
Steven Seagal.
He made contact first, by the way.
Yeah, that's a legal play.
Look,
For sure, a legal play.
we all know Joey Chestnut may be Jason Bourne. Okay, he may be Jason Bourne. But I want to say this about the protesters. Y'all got to stop doing this like at sporting events. Y'all got to stop. What you guys don't realize, I don't care what your cause is, if it's vegan milk, if it's Save the Ants Forest or whatever, you guys got to stop looking so lame and doing such lame things. You don't help your cause. You don't show up at a hot dog eating competition to talk about your cause when everybody's there to watch grown men and women see how many hot dogs they can shove down their face. You guys are terrible at this. You have people run out in the court and change themselves to basketball goals. You're not doing anything. So stop it. You're hurting your cause. I will now go eat twice as many hot dogs because of that guy that went out there. So you actually are hurting the animals. Yo, grow up. That to me is, that kid right there, I'd be willing to bet his mom about every evening when he's probably 28 years old, she probably brings him down some pizza rolls, tell him how special he is, and he's going to find his true love. Go out, get a job, start working, and stop being 11 years old and trying to interrupt hot dog eating contests.
Where's security?
Where's security?
Where's security? How do you get up there?
Sorry.
Joey had to handle it himself.
Look, with the boot on his foot.
Also,
With
the
the boot on his foot.
over-under was voided. Void on DraftKings because of that.
It should have
He was
been.
Interrupted.
It should have been. It's
Mid-contest.
ridiculous.
Look, he, first of all, just killed everybody and almost killed a protester and still won, guys.
He's coming back
Is
next
he better
year.
than Tom Brady? Let's be honest.
He beat the guy by
Dynasty.
he beat
Is
the
he better
next
than
guy
Tom
by
Brady?
20.
Let's be honest.
Dynasty.
Maybe we were arguing the wrong when we were arguing MJ LeBron.
I put out a
Maybe.
and arguing Joey.
Maybe.
I put out a Twitter poll But who was the GOAT? It was MJ, LeBron, Joey.
I voted Joey.
Joey Chestnut.
Joey.
I voted
Tom
Joey
Brady.
too.
Joey Chestnut won with 41% of the vote.
I love it.
That's
As
America.
it should be.
That's
On 4th of July, too.
That's America.
I love it. All right, next one. Man, Blaine was right. Zion signed a max deal with the Pelicans, 5-year, $231. But, Jake, what I want to know from you, is this the right move for the Pelicans? Should they have moved him? Gotten a whole bunch in return?
I got a bunch of friends that are Pels fans. My boy Cruz Oxenrider, shout out Cruzy. Know you're a big Pels fan. Ford, our boy Ford Lucy, big Pels fan. Y'all made a mistake. I'm telling you, Zion, I don't believe in it. He can't stay healthy. And there's always a problem. There's always drama, and he hasn't even done anything. He's an unbelievable talent. I just don't feel like I would have spent the max deal money on Zion. I would have moved him and got more pieces because I love the core that they have.
Yeah.
And you saw that they were having success. But I feel like Zion is about Zion. I don't think Zion is about the Pelicans. I don't think Zion's about CJ McCollum, one of the reasons he didn't talk to him when he came over. I think Zion Williamson is about Zion Williamson. And I like the Pels, but I don't like this move. I don't. I would have much rather them got rid of him and use that money to get a bunch of picks and some really nice pieces, and let's go ahead and build this thing. Yeah. Let's go ahead and build it for a long time. Zion, he'll go out next year, probably get injured about halfway through the year. You're going to see this same movie over and over and over again, and I don't believe. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong because he's that talented. He's so good that I hope he lives up to his potential because guys like that, you don't see him every day. But you have not given me a reason to believe, and I have a firm saying that I live by. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. I think Zion showed us who he was.
I agree. Are we wrong, Blair?
I think you're not wrong.
Is it worth the gamble? Is that what you're saying? It's worth the gamble?
I do. Yeah, well, you got to think about this Pels team was a playoff team without Zion. They were, but I still think if you add that piece, Zion is such a freak athlete, and it's always, no matter what it is, when it comes to contracts like this, it's availability. How healthy are you going to be? Like, you look at Anthony Davis, hadn't picked up a basketball since April. How do you trust that? Only thing I've heard out of the Pelicans is Zion's been working, he's been working to get back. He wanted to stay. He wanted to play. I like the faith in Zion, but he has to prove it. I believe in the kid. I think he still can be a generational player. He has to start shooting the basketball better, but I still think signing Zion is the right move.
Again, it's a gamble. It's always a gamble when you do contracts. I feel like they're taking a huge risk, and I just don't want to see the Pels blow it. Real quick, I want to see we have a lot of Pels fans. Is the Booster Club saying anything about Zion? Do they like it?
Not yet. So you got to think they'll be a little behind.
Yeah,
we did get a dollar.
They like it.
We did get a $1 donation from Shaker Jack. It's Shaker Jack.
You come in my house. You get my wife's name right.
Excuse me,
Christina.
It's Christina.
Oh, man. Let's stay on the NBA here. The Minnesota Timberwolves acquired Rudy Gobert from the Jazz in exchange for 5 players and 4 future first-round draft picks. Do I need to repeat myself? I mean, do I even need to give the punter go here? Like, they gave up too much for Rudy.
Listen, I played Grand Theft Auto a lot growing up. Love it. Love the free mode. Love the story mode. And I've pulled off some heists on Grand Theft Auto. Big heists. $1 million worth of heists. Diamonds, all type of stuff. I have never seen a bigger heist pulled off than what the Jazz just did to the T-Wolves. Minnesota continues to make the worst decision. They built the Warriors. The T-Wolves front office built the Warriors. Go back and look at it. It just continues to blow my mind how bad the decision-making is for the Timberwolves. If I'm the Jazz, when I threw that offer out there, or they accepted that offer, I would have almost thought it was like a Kevin Costner from Draft Day situation. Like, okay, they're tricking us. Y'all have to be tricking us. The old saying, if it's too good to be true, but it worked out this time. They did it. They got fleeced. The Jazz showed up at the bank in Minnesota. They handed them the note. They read the note. It said, I need all your good players, and we'll give you Rudy. Who's the second best Rudy, even though the first one was offside.
He was offside.
But again, if you're the Timberwolves, what are you guys? Somebody explain to me. Why?
So are you going to defend this here?
No, I'm not going to defend.
God,
I wish I could.
With what?
I wish I could. But you gave up way too much.
They'll have another
way
first-round
too much
pick
for
in like a half
Rudy
decade.
Gobert. I mean, he's a defensive guy. He's not going to help you a lot on the offensive side. But you're not going to make it any further in the playoffs you did this year by adding Rudy.
No.
And you gave up Walker Kessler, so now you're dead to me.
Yeah. I love
So even pairing him with Karl Anthony Towns, no long shot.
Karl Anthony Towns is better than Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, but I'm talking about.
They both Rudy doesn't disappear as much when it matters as Cat does.
I just don't think he does enough on the offensive side to really make that big of a difference. He's going to be a good defensive big, but it's not going to take you past the people you need to beat in the playoffs. Rudy Gobert wasn't the answer, and to my opinion, and you gave up everything. Like everything you have, your 401k, your house, your pool, both your cards, your mistress, like everything you had for Rudy Gobert, the Frenchman. No, get away from me.
Yes. Ew.
This smells funny.
Ew, bonjour. Actually, goodbye.
I want to get to this UFC 276 recap, but first of all, as if the Warriors couldn't get any better at shooting the basketball,
They got your boy.
they add DiVincenzo. As if it wasn't Splash City already.
This is like taking Hawkeye and sending him to Sniper.
Hey, I made it.
Yeah. He's going to fit in. You talk about it. Let him around Steph Curry?
And
you
Jordan
let DiVincenzo around Steph Curry? I mean, they're going to have to. You want to talk about gun laws?
Talking about Matt Walsh flipping the ball.
It's going to be an absolute splash festival.
He immediately just got his rating on 2K just went up 10 points now just because he's with the Warriors.
That's exactly.
I'm a huge fan. I'm like, I go back to the Villanova days. I was rocking the jersey and everything.
Is going to the Warriors like on NBA 2K when you like boost up? I got the new shoes. It's +3.
You automatically grow an inch.
Well, the facial hair, we always say in baseball, facial hair adds 2 miles per hour to the fastball.
Yeah, and longer hair.
Longer hair.
Adds at least 20 feet to the baseball. Probably a little velo, too, off the bat. But, I mean, to the Warriors, they're only going to get better. Kyrie goes to the Lakers, that's the only chance.
All right, well, while we're talking about California basketball, you were big on the Clippers right now. Adding John Wall, they have Kawhi, Paul George.
Look, the best team in L.A. isn't the Lakers, buddy.
Kawhi's got to stay healthy.
Not good. He does, but I've seen Kawhi. I've seen Kawhi, and now you have Paul George take a little pressure off you, a little load management. Now John Wall, who is a Wizard that just left the Wizard, he has to stay healthy. If they can stay healthy, and we always say this in the NBA, because nobody in the NBA stays healthy. It's unbelievable. Yeah. But the Clippers, that core that they have with Paul George, with Kawhi, and John Wall, I love that mix. I love that mix because I feel like, to me, you have guys that can really do everything. They can really, John Wall, he can handle the ball. He can get hot. He plays above the rim. Kawhi, from a star system we've discovered, but they haven't told the public about. Yeah. And then Paul George is obviously cash money. Now, he isn't the old Paul George, but Paul George gets cooking. We have a Guy Fieri situation.
Paul's got to stay healthy. It's still not going to beat the Warriors.
I think you're way too high on the Warriors next year. You're already gassing them up.
How am I too
high? Because
how can you be too high?
You want me to tell you who's going to win it next year? You want me to go and tell you? Right now? The Bucks are going to win it.
I like that.
I'd be surprised.
Chris Middleton coming back. If Chris Middleton wasn't hurt, the Bucks would have won the East, and they'd have probably beat the Warriors in 5.
Kyrie goes to Lakers in 6. Against any team.
Lakers in 6 against
any team. Against any team.
So then Russ is gone.
Oh, bye, please. Here's your bag. Here's your bag, your ticket.
Bring your playbook?
Yeah, that Dave Chappelle episode, you can get out. Please. God, quit complaining, dude.
All right, I know you want to hit
Last one, UFC 276. After Alex Pereira's first-round knockout of Sean Strickland, he should get a middleweight title shot against Israel Adesanya. Punt or go?
Go. Let him fight. We need some better fights. I wasn't
a fan?
No, I wasn't a fan of how it played out on Saturday. I wasn't in love with it. Munoz, we get a no contest.
Man.
I had a parlay going. Just boys, it was a boring night to me.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that. But I love watching UFC. I love watching mixed martial arts, MMA, all that stuff. And I get it, points and stuff like that. But when I'm watching the UFC, man, I want to see somebody get roundhoused. I want to see somebody come off the cage and tattoo somebody. It's starting to get a little boxing-ish to me. We're like, all right, I'm just going to try and get points. Then win. That's the thing that made UFC popular was people were getting knocked out. Man, woman, child, animal. If they threw a dog in there, it's catching the smoke. All right? It used to be in the UFC, these hands were rated E for everyone. Now nobody, everybody's out there just, playing patty cake, most of them. Even though Robbie Lawler lost, I love watching guys like Robbie Lawler.
That was the best fight.
That was the best fight. I like watching guys like the Diaz brothers because it's 5 rounds, 3 rounds, whatever, of me hitting you in the face, you hitting me in the face, and me trying to choke you out. But now, I don't know. It's just gotten kind of like, like businessy, like uppity a little bit. Like I want to see. That's why I'll go watch I'll watch some of the lower, cage fights they have going on some of the alternate channels. No, the woman, that was different. I was talking about the men on the card. The women's fight was good. Yeah, they get after it.
Man, the thing about Israel's fights, he just fights in such a different style. Like, he's always playing back not to get.
Yeah, bore me to death style.
He wins.
I know, but like.
All right, well, that's what I'm saying. Let Alex Pereira in the octagon with him then.
I'm fine.
That was a first-round knockout.
I just wish Conor McGregor would come back.
I mean, he can't fight like he did against Cannonier and beat this kid.
No.
Well, the biggest thing is, again, I get you're trying to win. And I watch football games. If it's 9-6, like I love that. I'm a defensive guy. So I guess I'm being somewhat contradictory on this, even though football and UFC are two totally different things. But I want to see hands hit face. Face hit mat. Good night. Let's go. Put the hands up. I want to see people get beat up.
Well, you can still fight in a defensive manner and be a counterpuncher. I mean, this is what Floyd Mayweather made his whole career off that. He was a great counterpuncher. We weren't seeing a lot of that here, even though the Robbie Lawler fight and Brian Barberena was the best fight.
Because Robbie Lawler is a brawl. You know what you're getting when Robbie steps in there. It may not be the prettiest, okay? It may not be the most fundamentally sound, but somebody is catching hands.
He was so crisp.
Or he was on fire. He's catching.
And then Bam Bam was like off the throwing was so high volume the whole for a round and a half, high volume, but it didn't matter because he wasn't landing anything. Lawyer was landing all these big crisp shots, and then all of a sudden for half a round, Barberena comes back and knocked him out. It was incredible.
How pissed would UFC fans be at me if I said there should be a certain punch? You should have to throw a certain amount of punches per round to be able to get points out of that round. What if you had to throw a certain amount of punches?
Should get Gina.
Corners calling it out. Hey, man, you got to throw this amount. We're 3 down.
I don't hate that.
That's what, again, you want fights in baseball and every other sport, so I know you don't hate that.
I do.
But the UFC diehards, tell me in the comments, UFC diehards, would you be down to have a certain amount of punches you have to throw? Punches. Not anything else each round. I think that'd make it awfully
very interesting. I see you got the cranium working over there.
The neurons are firing. The circuits are breaking.
Jake Cranium,
last night. It was unbelievable, man. But
hey, give our boy Steven a shout out for our bat.
Stephen Ogden. Tony Vitello signed bat from Tennessee. All our Tennessee faithful out there. I feel like this bat's got a few homers in it if you watch the way Tennessee plays. And he wrote us an unbelievable letter, Stephen. We got some great swag merch coming your way, my friend. You've been here since day one. We appreciate it.
Stevie.
And again, I want to give a shout out to Ben Everson, and we're going to unveil something this week that I'm not telling Cone about until we unveil it.
Ooh.
Which, if you already know about it, I'm going to be upset.
I don't
but
know.
Ben, don't think I forgot about you, Ben.
I love it. I'm going to put this right here.
You put it right there.
Are you guys brothers?
Did we just do the same time?
Are you guys brothers?
Come on! This is the Matrix. That's a great segue.
That deserves something good.
Yeah. There it is.
We go.
Wow.
That'll be out the end of the week.
Welcome to the Matrix. If you want to watch the rest of the show, head over to thedailywire.com, become a member, join the party, or listen on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with your friends. Because here, we don't hate America, but there is one thing on the other side, and this ain't it. We'll be right back. I want to start by saying you're innocent until proven guilty in this country. And I'm not for judging someone in the court of public opinion. So when I saw the news that Miles Bridges recently was arrested on domestic felony abuse charges, it kind of got me thinking about the big picture and how tragic situations like these really are. Now, we've seen instances of star athletes beating up women, whether it be their wife, their girlfriend, some random girl that they're with. And to me, it's inexcusable and it's unforgivable. But the reach goes far beyond just the victim and the perpetrator. We already have a problem with fathers not being there for their families in this country and an epidemic of men not doing what they're supposed to do when it comes to responsibilities they have. And that cycle is going to keep on rolling if the actual role models of millions of young kids continue to steer them down a bad path by doing things like this. Now, one of those areas, star athletes, have so much influence on not only the youth of our society, but the adults as well. Next time you're at a game, look around. Notice how many grown men and women are wearing jerseys with another adult's name on the back of it. These guys and women are idolized and immortalized in the eyes of fans, and they can do so much good. And there are some that do a ton of good. But whether it's Ray Rice, Greg Hardy, Joe Mixon, or possibly Miles Bridges, again, innocent till proven guilty in this situation, there are so many big-time athletes that have decided to pursue dark paths. I want to issue a challenge to every athlete out there, major star or not. Show the young people the right way. Show them that being responsible is actually cool. And even though you may have all the money and all the fame in the world, that honor, respect, and dignity is worth more than that will ever be. Show them that being an accountable father, husband, wife, or mother is the ultimate accomplishment that we can all reach, regardless of athletic prowess. So when you get upset or feel like you're going off the rails, why don't you remember that little boy sitting in front of that TV with his basketball and your jersey on that looks up to you? And you know, you may just be the role model that he's missing in his house. Show that next up and coming star that his biggest accomplishment isn't his draft position. It's how he handles himself and how he respects people. Show them that sometimes walking away doesn't make you soft. It makes you courageous. We're missing a ton of things we need in society right now. And I feel like athletes of all shapes and sizes, genders, whatever, can help bridge that gap, even if it's just a little bit, by showing everybody the way. I'm very passionate about this.
Hey, give me one right there, man. Amen.
This is something that kind of hits home for me. And again, Miles, he's going to have his day in court. Again, come back, he's innocent, whatever. I'm gonna give him that. In our country, that's how we do it. But for all these people that have blown opportunities to have an amazing effect on people, because guess what, man? When I die, and they put me in the ground, they're not going to be talking about the shows that we've done. They're not going to be talking about coming to the Daily Wire. They're going to remember me by the way I treated people. On my gravestone, it will not say the Daily Wire. It will not say that. It will say my name, how old I am, in loving memory, and in my obituary, it's going to have my family in there. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, that's what matters most to me. And maybe these athletes on these pedestals can be the people that help us, because it's a problem. It's a big problem right now, but it's not over. The fight's not over. So athletes out there, if you're watching this show, if you're not, if you have influence, and some athletes do an unbelievable job, and nobody's perfect, I get it, but use your influence for good. Show these kids that being responsible is cool, that's what a grown man does. That's what a grown woman does. That's swag. That's what that is. Not walking around with however many chains you have and being cool and getting arrested and hanging out with paparazzi and all this stuff. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about. And I hope maybe one day we'll get to that point.
You don't have a stable home front, man. It doesn't matter what you accomplish professionally.
And again, how many kids are out there watching this and watching these guys, and you know, that's the only person they look up to.
That's why I was talking to Phillip Rivers about his character. Yes. He was known as a high character guy, you know, and I thought, and just like watching him sit down and talk to us the way he did, it's just, I think we need to highlight guys like that more when we do.
Well, like in Dak and guys, people that do the right things, And speaking of Phillip
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, Russell Wilson. We need to celebrate the ones that do it the right way, because they can be a huge part in helping us kind of bridge that gap. Because we got to start taking responsibility.
I think Giannis is one of those guys.
Giannis, too. There are some great examples of it. But if you didn't know, we had a nice little interview with Phillip Rivers, who talked about Justin Herbert for the first time. We want to get Justin on to complete the trifecta. Because remember, just like on a Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, Blaine, what's it like? It's like a circle.
Like a circle.
It never ends.
Like a circle.
So, all right, I'm going to go and play this clip with Phillip Rivers talking about Justin Herbert. It's getting a lot of play. Check out the Chargers Twitter account. They tweeted out earlier today. Run that beautiful footage. Justin Herbert. Again, a lot of hype. I'm big on him. And Phillip, I got the Chargers winning the Super Bowl this year.
Do you really?
I do.
Well,
I'm big on Justin Herbert. I've said it. I've thrown it out there. I'm going to let it ride.
No, well, I tell you what, they got that one right. You know,
No.
and I pull like crazy for the Chargers, and I pull for Justin Herbert in particular, just because I think it's awesome to say, well, yeah, you know, thankfully I was able to be there for 16 years. Hopefully he can go another 16. I've always thought it was cool. You look at the Packers, you know, and it's like, Yeah, who's played quarterback there the last 40 years? Favre and Rodgers.
Yeah, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. Yeah, they get it. Yeah.
So you don't want it to go the Browns version, you know? It's like I can name 30 starters in the last 25 years.
That's exactly.
So I'm Herbert. You know, again, it was time for me to be done there, and then they nailed that pick. So I'm pulling for him, and I don't have as many former teammates. They're still there. You know, gosh, it's amazing the turnover. But the Keenan Allen's there, Eckler's there. You know, Derwin James. There's still a handful of guys that I played with. So it makes you want to pull for those guys. So we'll see. That's a bold pick.
Look,
but we'll see. They definitely gonna have a shot.
When the Chargers win the Super Bowl, I am going to be hell on this, and I'm going to be hell on that app with a bird on it. Just go ahead and get ready. Chargers, 2020, I guess you'd say 22-23 Super Bowl champs.
Phillip Rivers, that's our boy, man.
I think the Bills have something to say about that.
I don't think you're crazy picking them either. But I thought Phillip, what a great guy, man.
Dude, act like he knew us 100 years, man.
That's exactly right.
I actually have a couple buddies I went to high school with that are coaching with them.
Yep.
Right now.
Where's he at again?
Right, you do.
It's like St. Michael?
St. Michael, like Catholic,
something like that, yeah.
I'll tell you what, just being around Phillip, he's a bigger guy.
He's a lot bigger than I thought, too.
I mean, he's a brick house.
They say Tony Romo's like that, too. Tony
Really?
Romo's a lot bigger than what you think.
I wouldn't be surprised by
Phillip was huge.
Yeah.
When he came walking up, I was actually very surprised at how tall and wide he was, in a good way. How tall and wide he was. Looked like a tight end. But, B?
Yeah, we'll go to the chat. Let's go to it. All right, we got Steve the Pirate. All right. He says, I believe some athletes are shining examples that are great, but some are just awful. That's why we should highlight the good ones and call the other ones out for what they do wrong.
Yeah. That's exactly
I agree
right.
with that.
That's exactly right.
Trev says Jake's tombstone will say that he's a witch.
That's exactly what it's saying.
I think it might say that. Ari says, Mike. Yeah, you got it?
He's a witch.
I wonder if you can do audio on the tube.
Well, stop doing that. Do you know what I was just about to say? How cool would it be if I had a pressure sensor where you walked up to my grave and it said, he's a witch on the tombstone, and started playing the Harry Potter.
Yeah, it'd be really cool or really
theme
scary.
Music. Like, ding, ding,
you know why that
ding,
happened?
ding, ding.
It happened because it's Tuesday, baby.
You already know. And you know what that means on Tuesday?
Got some rapid fire?
Oh, it's rapid, Coach.
Ready?
Let's get it.
Ping, ping, ping.
First of all, let's just start with today. Djokovic rallying from 2 sets down to Janet Center. Blaine and I were watching this. We're like, man, sprinkle a little live bet action on this thing.
Yeah, we're in real time.
You know what greatness to me is, and I've watched Rafi play a bunch. You know, I've watched Joker play, watched Roger play. Greatness to me is when I've watched you play, and you still do things that blow my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Watching what Nadal did to Boy yesterday,
Yeah.
you would have thought, I don't know how y'all do rankings in your Alta thing, but whatever like a Class A is and like a Class D.
Yeah, we were in the B's, Jake.
Yeah, we
okay?
were in the
B's, all right?
And then watching Djokovic come back. But again, we are in the golden era of tennis. Everybody, I always wish, like, man, I wish I was able to watch Jack and Gary and Arnold and all these guys get after it. We're seeing that.
Yes.
We're seeing that in tennis. That's what we're seeing right now. And obviously, am I the biggest tennis fan in the world? No. Really, before I started doing this, my best tennis knowledge was Mario Tennis. And guess what? I'm getting towed, and you're catching these mitts.
There you go.
But now, after watching these guys, it's just so unbelievable. And greatness, that continues to impress. That greatness that continues to stack on top of greatness. And it's just fun to watch. Even if you're not a tennis fan and you're flipping the channel, whether you got DirecTV, whatever, if you go past there and you see Djokovic is playing or you see Nadal is playing,
just watch
Just watch
Be
it.
mesmerized.
Just watch it.
I've always wanted to go to Wimbledon.
Yeah.
I did too.
We should go.
I'm down.
So Novak's on to the semis now.
Yep.
Nadal will play for a shot at the semis tomorrow at like 5 a.m. I might have that in one of my picks,
We'll
so
see.
you never know. And they're on opposite sides of the draw. So we could see a Novak-Nadal championship, possibly.
That's
Don't get
must-see
ahead of
TV.
ourselves.
Give me Nadal.
That's
What's it on?
must-see TV.
Really? On grass?
Oh, it's on grass.
Oh, it's on grass.
Give me Nadal.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
if it was
Okay.
clay, I'd go Nadal 100%.
For sure. All right. It's time we talk about Mark Richards, okay? We're cornhole.
Is that the guy that
we're cornhole
I thought that was the guy
aficionados.
that killed John Lennon.
Oh, is that? No, I don't know what the.
I was literally racking my brain. I was like, Mark Richards.
Look,
Mark
we're
Richards.
cornhole aficionados. We might have a new series starting soon.
Look, shout out Johnsonville.
Shout
y'all.
out Vince Vaughn.
What's up?
Well, we should get this guy on the team then, okay? Because he's only the third player ever to win singles and doubles championship in the same year.
He's a witch.
And in the doubles championship, doubles, mind you, where you're playing on the board with someone else, they can block your bag, they can do all sorts of stuff, hit 36 straight bags in a row in the championship.
36?
36 for 36, a perfect game in the doubles championship.
Wait. So this dude threw the bag into the hole.
It was in his hand,
okay,
right? And then he tossed it, as you do in cornhole, and then it went in the hole 36 times.
Got to be the guy on the left, or
in the black hat.
Yes,
definitely him.
Mark Richards.
That's unbelievable. So, man, this is a great poll question. What is harder, a perfect game in cornhole or a perfect game in bowling? That right there, you may have to answer that question.
Going cornhole, because you can't block somebody in bowling.
You know? Cornhole harder to me. There's a lot. I mean, I'm rolling it. I'm rolling it towards something. Like cornhole, throwing that bag. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Me and Blaine, you said this, Cone, you're not bad either. I feel like we should be sponsored and we should be playing professional.
Yeah, I'm not making 36 bags.
I'm not saying I'm doing that.
Yeah. The thing about it is, like, with me, it's like I'm getting in your head. By that first time that cornhole bag's tossed, I'm going to beat you there. In your
I'm going to be in my head before you get there.
I'm getting in your head. If I know you're better than me, it's going to be nothing but me inside your ear the entire time.
Give me an example of how you would get.
Well, it depends. It depends on the person. Like, I'm looking at him. I get everything. I summarize.
You make fun of physical appearance?
Like, no. I don't. Maybe later.
You physical appearance?
Maybe later.
If it's going really bad.
First of all, this guy.
But I found out who you know in the stands. He knows your stands.
His girlfriend was there. But.
Let's talk about it.
He and his partner were both wearing AirPods. So how are you going to
Well, unless you're playing Slipknot, you're going to hear me.
How would that sound? How does Slipknot sound?
Wow, it's super loud, I know. But it doesn't matter. You will hear me. I don't care who else hears me, but if I know you're better than me, there's other ways to win in cornhole, and that's me slowly swimming around in your head.
It's got some real basketball psych out vibes going. You have to. I love where your head's at.
All right. Oh, we had the first 8-5 triple play on record in MLB history, but you and I were breaking this down earlier. I'm not sure how it's not 8-5.
I'm interested on how we score this as an 8-5.
I walked in here and there's like the sunny Philadelphia GIF on Twitter. Everything's connecting the dots when you trying to figure this out.
And again, I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to baseball. I'm just surprised how this is an 8-5 triple play when you did throw it to the first baseman to get the third out. So to me, it went from center field to third to first. How is this not an 8-5-3 triple play? And it's absolutely nuts to watch. So let's watch.
Let's see if we have this.
Some will argue the White Sox ran into that triple play maybe more than the Twins turned it. What did you see, and explain the best to your ability?
Terrible base running.
Okay, well, first of all, you saw a center fielder make.
You can see what's going on, guys.
I have only seen Andrew Jones make in my life. It was an incredible catch.
There's two. That's the 5. No, it's the first.
Expected batting
There's
average
the 3.
on that ball that was hit is 820.
Again,
either way,
it's an incredible play.
Bad base running.
Yes.
What are y'all doing?
And I went back and I was really watching if it was a hit and run or some situation like that. I can understand it. If it's not, how about Tony La Russa stops worrying about trying to save the world and coach your baseball team? Stop getting DUIs. Stop telling everybody what you think about everything. Nobody cares, Tony. Stop running into new triple plays that have never been invented before in the game of baseball. Why don't you retire?
I don't understand.
Dude's like one of those. You know what Tony La Russa is? He's like one of those old phones that you have to like the rotary phones. You have to like dial like by doing the circle, going back. Just get out, man.
I don't understand how this happens unless you have a double hit and run on us. But sooner or later, like you see where the ball is, and this ball wasn't just clearly going out of the ballpark, right? Sooner or later, you have to see this. I can understand it more to the guy who's front running the bases, but the guy behind him, what are you doing?
And let's not act like Buxton's not in center field. Yeah, that dude could hawk down a Panther.
Nice with it. I just
and Byron's been freaking out this year. He's been doing the stuff they thought he was going to do, and he's gotten injured a little bit. It's been back and forth. But when Byron Buxton is cooking, that's a different level of cooking. This dude is an unbelievable athlete and is absolutely destroying the baseball right now. It looks like a beach ball going up there.
This tells you it doesn't matter if it's high school, college, or the MLB. Little things in baseball, if you don't do them, will get you beat.
Exactly. Quicker than anything.
They used to look like a beach ball to me, too. That's why I swung and missed at a lot of the high fastballs.
Me, too.
Did I tell everybody the Brett Favre thing, what happened at the Senior Bowl, whatever? Did I say that on the show? So I have to tell this really.
Yeah.
I know we have mailbag and bets. So we're down there at the Senior Bowl. Unbelievable time. Got some great interviews. You saw the one with Phillip Rivers. You had Patrick Willis, Creed Humphrey. It was an unbelievable time. So I played golf on Monday. So they paired me with like a group. So it was a scramble. So it was me, it was EJ Jr., who was unbelievable at Alabama, and some guys that run a big business down there. And so we're on about the 14th hole. I'm going to be honest with you, one of the greatest team all time. Okay, nobody's win the Ryder Cup on that one. But there's one guy that probably was the worst out of all of us. So we're on the 14th tee. He's at the box, and all of a sudden, everybody stops. He turns around, picks his club back up, looks. Brett Favre and the entourage are coming down, okay, the cart path. Brett Favre stops, and he's like, go ahead and hit. And the minute he said that, you could see the fear in this guy's eyes. Because now, not only do you have to get up there in front of your boys and hit one straight when it matters, Brett Favre is looking at you. So I guess he made his mind up when he got over that ball. I'm going for broke. I'm going to swing as humanly hard as I possibly can. And he did. Great finish like this, swirled around. The only problem was he totally missed the ball.
Swing and a miss.
He took a chunk out of the earth that looks like an archaeologist dug there.
No, in front of
and Brett Favre and all his friends made fun of him. But Brett Favre left.
Now you got to fight him.
And yeah, now you got to fight him.
Now you got to fight him. That's the only one.
I have seen people get bullied, okay? I have, gotten on the freshmen, had a good time, whatever. All my boys were always cracking on each other. You know how it goes. I have never seen a grown man get absolutely roasted the way this dude did over the last 4 holes. I will never forget it. I will always remember it. And I know Brett Favre will too, but you blew it in front of Brett Favre.
Man, that
should have had his copper fit.
Yeah, copper fit can't even fix that.
That's exactly right.
I actually went golfing too. Not as cool as the story, but I literally had one of my buddies almost strike out on a tee box.
Yeah, well, again, you know the rules.
Strike out. We're literally behind. Like,
Wow.
He missed the first, and I was like, ha!
Did it start with a V?
Yeah.
Of course it did. I know who that is.
That story's
I know we got the mailbag, but I'm going to walk over to the board while you read the question.
That story's about as bad as when Johnny Drama broke Tom Brady's club on Entourage.
Yeah, that really happened. People don't realize that really happened.
Hey, while you're up there real quick, Birmingham Stallions won the USFL championship. Shout out Skip Holtz.
Come on the show, Skip. Skip to my Lou on over here.
And Carlos Sainz won his first Formula One Grand Prix at Silverstone. So you gonna start watching?
Wait.
Someone else won. Are you going to start watching now?
Cone, you mean to tell me
Carlos Sainz won his first race.
that somebody outside of Max Verstappen,
Yes.
Leclerc,
Yes.
and Lewis Hamilton won a race in Formula One?
Lewis Hamilton finished third.
I don't believe you.
Yes, it's
I
fact.
don't believe you.
So I have an explanation here from Huddy.
Okay.
Okay.
What Huddy say about the triple play?
Yeah. It is scored an 8-5 because the center fielder, caught it and then threw it to the third baseman.
Yes.
Tagged the guy who left from first and then stepped on second to get the guy who.
So we were looking at that.
Okay, that makes more sense. But it was the second guy that was in. So they both took off.
The second guy.
He tagged the second guy. The guy who was on second was already almost around
so there
third.
wasn't an out at first.
So by the time he threw it to first.
Because
There were already 3 out.
I wonder if there has been an 8-5-3 triple play though.
Okay.
Because there has never been an 8-5.
Sure.
Okay, and that makes sense. I wonder if there's been an 8-5-3. But that does make sense, Cone, when we were looking at it, because we looked at it for about 20 minutes. We actually talked about that, but we were thinking the first runner was the second.
That's what we thought.
That's what we thought. Yeah. Good job, Huddy. That's what.
Nice job, Huddy.
Boy, Huddy.
Attaboy, Huddy.
Attaboy.
Hey, little quab, quality AB.
Little quab. Hey, let's go a little mailbag here.
Oh, you want mailbag?
Let's read a mailbag question, Cone.
Let's start it off with
Tuesday.
Nathan.
I'm feeling dangerous.
Let's start it off with Nathan here. Oh, and look at that, boys.
Whoa, the
little
graphics are
graphic.
getting
You see
really-
that? Hey, guys, love the show. You have become a daily listen for me. I am a Dallas Cowboys fan and a Longhorns fan. I'm in my mid-20s. I feel like my teams get a ton of hate from the outside because of past successes and how big their brands are, but I'm not old enough to have experienced those successes for either team, except for Vince Young 2005, he says. My complaining aside, do you think there is a greater chance that Dak leads Dallas to a Super Bowl or Arch Manning wins a national championship at Texas? What a grade A question from Nathan.
Nathan, that question is elite, my friend, and I'm going to answer it very simply. Arch Manning in Texas.
Yeah, that's I like
Arch Manning in Texas.
Really?
I think Arch is just hold, conserve your powder for a second.
Go ahead.
Texas goes to the SEC. We got to play the game that they're telling us. Let's say 2025, whatever. Arch, or 2024, which is what I'm thinking it's going to be, honestly. Arch redshirts the year before. Quinn goes, whatever. Arch Manning's freshman year in the SEC, they'll do redshirt freshman year. They'll do fine. It's that next year. I think the redshirt sophomore year of Arch Manning, Texas is going to have a shot. because he's going to be draft eligible this year. And if he's what everybody else thinks he is, I don't think he's going to be what everybody else thinks he is, but I think he's going to be good enough. And great players want to play with who, Cone? Great players. You saw the domino effect of getting Arch Manning. I would be willing to bet on Arch Manning because I would never be willing to bet on Jerry Jones. I know that's not Dak, but I would bet on Arch before Jerry.
All this depends on, to me, if Nick Saban's still coaching in Alabama. That's what it depends on with me. Because if he is, Texas, you're not winning a national championship. I think Dak will have a better chance just because maybe the players, you can have a one-off year in the NFL if you get the right players in free agency. But I just don't think, with Kirby, the way Georgia is, with Nick, the way they are, and hell, the way A&M looks right now, that y'all are going to win a championship in the next 5 to 7 years. I think Dak will probably win a Super Bowl in his career.
Well, I think with the new NIL and what Texas is doing, I think they could sneak up and win one too, almost similar to because, hey, you talk about free agency in the NFL. Well, Texas mess around and do some free agency in college football right now because that's what it is. All right, Conathan, one more.
You want another one? Let's go to Stephen Bennett, all right? What are your thoughts, talking about college football, what are your thoughts on the kind of season stats a defensive player would need to have to win the Heisman? Could you break it down from the 3 main groups of defenders, linemen, linebackers, and defensive backs, and give your prediction on what kind of stats would guarantee, such as if a lineman or linebacker with Michael Strahan had 22 sacks in a year, or a defensive back went night train and had 14 picks, they'd have to win the Heisman, right? Right, question mark. Still love listening to the show while I feed my beef cows here in Idaho.
Let's go.
Did I mention my cows are Wagyu? Wagyu steak with some Idaho potatoes, best meat and potatoes you'll ever taste if you make it out here.
I will go to Idaho just to enjoy
Steven, we're on our way.
Fantastic. It's going to be really hard. Steve, you listen to the show, we talk about this all the time. To me, I think the best chance has already happened. I think it's somebody like Charles Woodson. I think it's somebody like Honey Badger that is able to intercept the ball, pick up fumbles, special teams. You have to be able to do it in a ton of different ways. Will Anderson, you need to have a year like Will Anderson had.
I got a stats right here.
Read them.
All right, so in 2021.
It's going to be sacks. It's going to be forced fumbles, stuff like that. Go ahead.
He had 57 solo tackles, 44 assists, and 18 sacks.
Will Anderson?
Yeah, yep. Those are good numbers.
Sacks,
Will Anderson had 18?
Yep, no interceptions. 101, I think, it's team total.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Look, it's going to be hard for a defensive lineman to win it. If Ndamukong Suh didn't win it, and I can sit here and reel off stats, I can say 30 sacks. That's unbelievably and almost impossible to attain because they're just going to start doubling you after about 17. But I think it has to be somebody like Charles Woodson. I think we've already seen the path. I don't think you stray from it. You look at the defensive line, obviously, like I said, sacks, forced fumbles, but a guy like Will Anderson that can drop back in coverage, you get a couple picks.
If you get a crazy amount of picks as a DB and you take a lot of them back to the crib, I could see it.
It would have to, but you've had guys have crazy amount of picks. But to me, there has to be
special teams involved too.
That's what I'm saying. There has to be another element.
You have to break the record for interceptions and bringing them back to the crib.
If you look like Honey Badger was destroying people. He was picking the ball off, forcing fumbles, blocking punts, returning punts, returning kicks.
Who won it that year?
I can't remember who won it the year of Honey Badger. It wasn't Honey Badger, obviously. But again, I feel like that is about the only way. That is like the yellow brick road of trying to win it as a defensive guy. Because we don't get enough love. It's just the truth. All right, bets for today. Guys, good start to the month. I want to give a shout out as well. Obviously, Cranico Pick Tracker, the GOAT. But Cody Nace, I believe his name, I may be saying that wrong, on Twitter has started a true pick tracker chart to go along with it.
I think it was Johnny Manziel, maybe.
Was it Johnny Bands?
I think so.
I mean, again, you're going to go with the quarterback. This isn't a mystery.
Johnny was an absolute problem.
Yeah, again, you got mitts like that. But, all right, give me the Marlins, -1.5 at +170. Sandy Alcantara. Well, I can tell you something. He's going to strike a lot of them out. Maybe the worst joke I ever told. Then give me the Brewers, -1.5 at +148. Y'all know me, I'm going dog bets. It's about the units.
You're going double dog?
It's about the units. Dude, I've done nothing but bet dogs for basically the last 4 weeks. I'm going to keep doing it. What do I always say? What do me and an apartment manager have in common? What are we both worried about?
It's all about the units.
It's all about the units, Cone. It's all about the units. Not even the first 4 units, not the penthouse units. It's all the units, and that's how it should be. So those are my 2, 3 and 3 on the month, plus in the units. Baby Cone will be giving a speech on Friday, but I don't want to ruin it. All right, Cone, what do you got?
New month. Let's start with the Angels, Marlins, Nerfy at -160. They got Thor and Alcantara.
That's my boy.
The mound. First round, no runs. Can we just get this done?
The only
we
one
get
I'd
this
be
done?
worried about Syndergaard before I worried about Alcantara.
That's what I'm thinking.
Because Sandy, Sandy plays a game called "Give Me the Ball, You're Out."
Yeah.
Well, you just can't walk a bunch of people.
And then I'm going Rafa Nadal, which won't hit until tomorrow. Rafa Nadal minus 3.5 games at minus 140
Explain
in
to
the
me
quarterfinals.
this. So he has to win it. Explain to me what minus 3.5 games.
So a match is made up of sets. A set's made up of games, right?
Yep.
So in the majors, you have to win 3 sets. So first to 3. Okay. So if you're thinking that if you break in each one of those sets once, you would win 3 sets 6-4. Okay. Which means you win 2 games in each of those. Multiply that by 3, that's 6 games. Now let's say he drops a set by 1, or maybe it's a tiebreaker situation, which would be a 7-6 win. Now all of a sudden you're looking at he won by 5 games. So the easiest way to do this, you could just add up the number of games he won, which at the end, let's say he went. We could take Djokovic earlier, who lost the first 2 sets, right? So he's down in games already, but then won the next 3 sets. Add up all the games he won against all the games Sinner won, and see if you hit.
Oh, so it's the difference.
Yeah.
It's the difference. So that was your roundabout way of telling me it's the difference of whoever won the most games.
I like that. You hit your last
That's a
So
good
minus.
explanation.
But I hit so the ones this weekend were minus 5.5, which Nadal covered those. This one's minus 3.5.
Okay.
Into the quarter.
Over your head.
All right. Well, new month. No,
Hey, Blake, you're running away with it.
Did you already write your speech this weekend?
5-1, you're running away with
Hey,
it.
I'm running with Nerfies. You know, I mean, no
2 of them?
I'm running with 2 of them. You know, I get to watch it. I don't got to watch the whole game. You know, it just fits out well. So I'm also going Angels Marlins.
Yep.
Nerfy minus 160. Let's get it done. You know, it'll be quick. Took him last time. I trust Story's only getting better and better. All right, then I'm going Mariners, Padres.
Hell of a pitch and matchup.
Yep, Gilbert's on the mound. There's another one on the mound. He's 2-0. Long hair. I believe in it. Nerfy, minus 130. Boys, let's just come out and get on the mound and let's start this well. All right, let's start this well. I got a great feeling about it.
All right.
I'll go 0-2, but I got a great feeling about it.
So, Baby Cone, he wants Hallop minus 3.5 games there, Coney. And then he wants the Mets first 5 minus 0.5, and that's at a sensual minus 145.
Sure.
So, it's going to be an interesting month.
Yep.
Starting off hot, you know, for some of us, like Blaine. See how it goes. I'm going to read the booster bets real quick. B. Cersei. We have a lot of people that are 5-0. I mean, I'm just going to keep it as stiz.
Hey, new month. Did we change the Hall of Fame win total that you have to go? We talked about it last month. What was it, 8-0
Yes.
to get in the Hall of Fame? Are we changing that or are we keeping it the same?
I say keep it, man.
You say keep it?
It's hard to get to 8.
Let's keep it at 8 right now. You want to go, what do you want? 10,
I want 10.
You want 10?
You want
I
10?
want 10.
I mean, look.
You want 10?
Hey,
Hey, you want a captain plan?
Democratic rule.
Hands in?
Democratic rule.
Wind. No, wait. Start that over.
What do we
Start
do?
We're
that
doing the Captain Planet thing, and you
say
guys
wind.
blew it.
You say wind. You say
Yes.
Earth.
What do I say?
You
You
say,
say
wind.
wind.
I got it. Come
Okay.
on.
Earth.
Wind.
Fire.
Together we form Captain Planet. All right, so it's 10. We decided.
Nice.
That's how we decide things around here. Doesn't everybody else do that? Isn't that
how
what they
this
do in
should be done.
Congress?
All right, there
They
you go.
Captain Planet it? All right.
Spoken.
So Beat Cercio's 5-0. He wants the Dodgers over 4.5 runs. Boring Florida man is so exciting right now at 5-0. He wants the Blue Jays minus 190. Kyle Jenkins, shout out, yeah, it's 5-0. He wants the Mets, Reds, and Nerfy minus 127. Oh, I thought you hit it.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
JT Ryan 91's 5-0 as well. He wants the Mariners' first 5 result. That's plus win 155. You're a dangerous man there, JT. Joey Bastion 26 is also 5-0. He wants let's go Pirates, Yankees over 6.5 runs at minus 121. I was like, New York Times? It's like NYT.
It's over 8.5.
Over 8.5, I'm sorry. I was like, why is New York Times playing Pittsburgh? Husker Hangover, I'd take Pittsburgh. Husker Hangover, he's 4-0. He wants the Rangers money line versus Baltimore. Jeremiah D. Wright, because you can't Jeremiah be wrong, is 3-0. He wants the Mets minus 1.5 at minus 120. And Katie Rose is 3-0. She wants Jurickson Profar over, well, just to get a hit at minus 195. Burn the Squirtle. Violent man there. Is 3-0. He wants the Angels, Marlins, under 7 runs, minus 110. Pitcher matchup's legit. Life _ 00022 is 1-0. And he wants the Phillies money line minus 160. Parting thought.
Question.
Yes.
For these Booster Club members whose streaks have already started,
No.
did they have to get to 8?
Got to be 10.
Like, you know, their heart was set. I mean, they're sitting at 5-0. Some are sitting at 4-0. It's worth a conversation.
It's worth it. Well, we
I don't want to be breaking hearts when someone hits 8-0 and then they miss that 9th.
Look, it's
Tony,
Booster
Captain
Club. We don't
Planet
take the
the
easy
thing.
way out of it.
Fair.
We adapt or die.
Hey.
Adapt or die. I got a couple things here.
Okay.
All right. Christopher Mowry. All right. He said, how did I not make the Booster Club bets graphic? I'm 7-0.
You're set. Who are you taking today?
I got it right here.
All right,
I got it right here. He's taken the Angels Marlins Nerfy.
Yes! Let's
He
go.
got it minus 150.
Wait, so are we saying if he's 8-0, if he hits, does it count?
No.
You're just going to switch it up on him like that. That's ruthless,
It's not-
man. That's ruthless.
To me, I think there should be a 24-hour grace period. We should have 24-hour grace period. If he hits it today, we got to give it to him. We have to.
Ruthless, man.
Look.
Look, if y'all want it, y'all outvote me.
No.
No.
Just know if it was a Friday, Flame
Well,
Dragon.
it's not. Thank goodness for us.
I put a poll out.
All right, go ahead.
Okay? Should I get a buzz cut?
Blaine, don't do that.
I haven't looked at it.
What is
Oh
your
my
obsession?
God.
with
I haven't
the
looked at
buzz
it.
cut?
What's your deal?
I just don't like the way my hair's growing.
You go to
right
the
now.
beach.
It's wrong. I wear too many hats. Like, this is wrong. I just don't like it.
Hey,
All right?
did you tell everybody about the pictures at the beach?
Okay. Oh, this is funny. So one of my buddies was a lineman in high school, and he was fat, so we made fun of him because we love him. That's what you do with your friends. But now he looks like Thor. Okay, and for some reason at the beach, every photo we took, he was right next to me in the photo. Right next to me in the photos. One, Jay, you're not allowed to take a picture next to me in a photo ever again. And two, send me your workout. All right? And send me everything you're on. I'm going to announce this on the show as well. I'm decided I'm going to get shredded.
No, you say this every
I'm going to
3
get
months.
shredded. I'm going to get shredded.
I've heard this a couple
I'm
times.
gonna join a CrossFit group. I'm gonna start eating good. No more sodas for your boy.
A buzz cut's
No
not
more
going to help
sodas.
with that.
Thank
Like, it's
you,
not like you
David.
just get a
I'm
buzz cut,
buzzing
now
it.
you're jacked.
I'm gonna buzz it and grow the beard out.
Blaine, the only
No, I
shredded
don't
you're
believe
getting in about a week is the shredded chicken taco from Taco
Yeah,
Bell.
I don't believe you do
Because you
any of
say
that.
this every 3 months.
I don't think you buzz it. I don't think you grow the beard back out. I don't think you get shredded. Just a lot of talk.
Well, you know what? Thanks, David. Do I get a buzz cut? What do y'all think the answers are? Is yes or no?
Wait, are you going to get one or should you? What's the
Depends on what the Booster Club says.
No. What did you ask them?
Should I get a buzz cut?
Should you? I'll say they said yes.
I say they said yes, 62%.
Well, Jake saw the
63.
poll. Anything else?
Okay.
Anything else?
Hold on.
Yes, 62%.
We got to figure out a better way to do this.
I'm sorry.
It's on me. It's on me.
Thank you.
It's my
Take
fault.
accountability.
I need to be better in hiding the poll. I hit it the entire day, and now I just went and looked at it, and the only thing I saw from Jake was this.
I did not. I swear. Let's go back and look. You know
It's
what?
okay.
We will
It's
look.
okay.
We're in an hour, 6
Let me be
minutes.
surprised
We'll
on
go
what
back
it
and look
is.
at
Oh, surprise.
Dude,
Should
I
I
swear.
buzz my head?
Guys.
Should I buzz
Guys.
my head? Yes. 62%.
Guys, can I say
All right.
please?
I got to do it now.
Please?
I am at the mercy of the Booster Club.
Yeah.
I am at the
You
mercy
are.
of the Booster Club. So now I got to shave my head.
You're
Well,
not doing it.
I am doing
No,
it.
you're not.
I believe in you. After all that
After
stuff
all the
I just
negative things
I
I
believe in you.
Thank you. I need to buzz it. It just doesn't feel right.
You know what feels right is to be back live, boys.
Yes.
Missed
Oh,
you guys.
finally.
Long weekend. Love it. Got some rest, but man.
Got some sun. Didn't get much rest.
This is where
Shout
we need
out
to be.
Orange Beach. Shout out Florida.
I got a bunch
Went
of
and saw
rest.
Morgan Wallen. Was great.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome, man.
They had to play a polka flute to wake me up.
Hey,
when they,
really?
Hey, side note, Baby Cone ate his first rib.
No.
Yeah. And saw his first fireworks.
Very
Side note, on a side note, did you not have any extra ribs? I heard you had an extra rack and decided not to bring it today.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't decided not to bring it. I didn't know that I was.
Well, you didn't make
I
the
brought-
decision not to
See,
bring
what happened was last time we made that rack of ribs when you were over, and
Yep.
Blaine didn't make it, so I brought him some ribs
right,
because
Blaine
I
didn't
wanted to
make
look
it. He
out
had
for him.
that thing.
And now there's an expectation
Yeah.
that and maybe that's on me.
you're that
While
good.
we're owning things, that's on me.
You're that good of a cook, David.
I gotta bring
You're
you
that
ribs
good of a
next
cook.
time. Thank you.
All right. Well, appreciate it, guys. Shout out to Booster Club. Make sure you subscribe everywhere. TikTok. We may be going live from TikTok on the show as
Can't
well
wait.
here soon. But again, everything at the Daily Wire. It's an unbelievable place. We're going to be back here same time tomorrow. Got some more big guests coming on this week, including one maybe that you never thought a sports show would ever have on.
Is this a
with
surprise? Is this
it's
a
a
surprise?
super duper special
don't even know
surprise.
this.
Super duper special surprise. And I can't wait. But like Blaine's chances of getting shredded, we're going.
Oh, God.